Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you all coming. I really do. I am very well aware that things are not easy at the moment. There's people that are in a lot of debt. There's people that have very little money. And I've been there. As myself, there's a point in my life where I made a few stupid mistakes, and I very nearly ended up living on the streets for 2 to 3 years. Um, at 18, I took out a Visa card, maxed it out, something like £2,000 on there. Took out a loan, £2,000 loan. Took out another loan, and I accumulated in a very very short time, in about 6 months, a large amount of debt. Now, banks will always give you money in most cases when you're a young person like 18 years old, because they can claim it all back and they can get it all back from you on really high interest rates. It's a bit unfair when I should have never been given a Visa card. I should never been given loans because I was in no position to pay it back, and it put me in a really bad position in life. I then moved out when I was like 18, which because I was stupid. I made a lot of big mistakes, but these are going to be the tips that help me get out of those problems. So let's I'm going to do this based on the assumption that whoever is watching this video is an adult. Now, this is not legal advice. This is not certified advice, but this is what I've done. This is what I've seen other people do who are in positions of giving advice to people to save money and to get out of particular situations. So we'll just move this up. The first thing is you're going to have to go through your bills. So let's say there's a mortgage. So you got your mortgage. You then have to pay for gas and electric. You then got council tax. You have your water rates. You have your household insurance. And then I also include food. So this is food that would cover for the whole month. Okay. Now, if you have a car, we'll cover that now. If you don't have a car, then all you really need to do is stop here, and that's it. So what we'll do is we'll do a total. So let's say your mortgage is £400. Gas and electric, for two bed house, about £250 a month. It's very expensive. Council tax, say £130. Water rates, £35. House insurance, £30. Food for a month for two people. I would put this at about, if you can, around 170. I know that's hard. I know food is very expensive. So we'll do a quick math here. Why did it never work for me? Also, this gives us a total of £1,015 a month, and that £1,015 covers the bare minimum of what you're doing. So let's say now we'll highlight the red. Let's say now you have a car. So car insurance. Now this is a very wide spectrum of what you could be paying, which is given. Road tax. Let's see. And then you want to pay for petrol. Now, car insurance, that is a tricky one. Let's say your car insurance is £1,000. So you take £1,000, you divide that by 12. That gives you 80. We'll round it up to £85. It's £83.33. Let's round it up to £85. So just over £1,000 a year. Road tax. Let's say road tax for a whole year is about £400. Let's say your road tax is £450. So £450, that works out at say £37.50, but we'll round it up to £38. Petrol a month, again depending on your car, put this down at about £80. So you now have the two core things that come out of your account every month. We'll do again a total. Gives us 203. So far, a month we're paying £203 for the car, and we're paying £1,015 for all your household bills. So if we have a month total, let's just quickly get the system. That gives us a total of £1,218. Now, let's say your wage is £1,600 a month. So we're going to take 1,600 away from the total. So you have £382 a month left. So out of your initial wage of £1,600 after tax, again, these are just rough figures. If you're on a higher wage, great. If you're on a low wage, you'd change the formula. If you pay less for your mortgage or you pay more for your mortgage, you would amend this up and down. But based on the most general I can think of, this would be £382 a month left. Now, that's money you can spend on anything you want. If you have a pet that needs to have its hair trimmed once a month, you could include that in here. You know, that's one of those things that they'd include. So let's do that. We'll move this up one. Let's put down pet. So say you pay £80 a month for the trimming and looking after your pet, and then you have to feed it as well. So if you give that £100 a month, including its food, you'll see straight away the total comes to 1,318. Out your £1,600 wage, that leaves you £282. Now, if you have a loan or a debit or credit card, that's £100. Again, that'll drop you down to 182. But then you've got things like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus. Include all those onto this format. I'm going to make this a bit smaller so you can get more on there. And we'll just go over, we'll add on all these things that quite a lot of people do. Quite a lot of people do have. So, TV subscription. Well, actually, why don't we call it Netflix? Netflix TV license. If you'd pay that, that's up to you. Disney Plus. I'll stick the loan on. So Netflix, £13, I think it is a month. TV license is about let's say TV license is £160 a year. So that works out like £13 a month. Disney Plus, I actually pay £5.99. And let's say I have a loan which is £138 a month. Now, based on the new information, total outgoings, mobile. Let's say you have a contract mobile, it's £38 a month. So based on my new updated information, I get a total of £1,322.99 that goes out every month to my standard bills. These are bills that go out every single month without fail that have to go. Then you've got your car as well, because obviously you need to get to work and that sort of thing. So your total spend for the whole month is £1,525.99. Out of your £1,600 wage, that leaves you a total of £74.01. Now, let's do a slightly different example. Let's say you're not just trying to balance your books. Let's say you are in arrears and you're having trouble actually saving money, and every month you're in arrears and you're borrowing on your Visa card. So what can we do in this scenario? Now, we can't change the mortgage. You may be entitled to a 3-month payment gap or a break. You'll have to check with your mortgage provider. With your gas and electric, you can try and cut down the amount of gas and electric that you use, but that's going to be quite tricky. Council tax, there's nothing you can do about your council tax. You can't do anything about your water rates. You need to have your household insurance. Food, you could try and knock down the food to maybe, I need to change the loan to £280. So let's say you're going to try and save money on food. So try and knock your food down to £140 a month. Just before we do that, please note, at the moment, we're overdrawn. We're in arrears by about £67 a month. So we'll bring the food down to £140. For the vet bills, that is a tricky one. Maybe you'll try and find some way of doing the trims and that sort of thing another way. But for now, let's just leave that alone. What other things can we do? So we can get rid of Netflix. Get rid of that straight away. Get rid of Disney. We'll get rid of that straight away. Just by reducing the food expenditure a month, going for more. So when it comes to food, if you were to get a bag of frozen veg, that'd be cheaper than buying one lot of fresh broccoli. So you could get lots more frozen veg. You could try and get food that, isn't the very best premium food, but the market's own brand. That will bring down the bills as well. I find it very helpful to go online to Asda or Sainsbury's and actually look at what I want, have what I want in mind for what I'm going to make for the next 4 weeks, go on there and then type in peas and go to the cheapest peas that I can find. And I'll order the cheapest frozen bag of 1 kilogram peas for like £1.15. You can do things like that. It's a lot easier going online, finding exactly what you want and buying exactly what you want at the lowest price online than it is in a supermarket. A supermarket is designed to make you spend as much as you can. When you go to a supermarket, the most premium products that they make the most money on will be the ones that are the most in front of you when you go to aisles. So if you go down to the cheese aisle, the most expensive cheese that may be on promotion, they'll make the most money on that. So that's why that's at the end. But back to the chat. So you can't do anything about the loan. The £280 loan, that is a problem. The mobile phone. Now, this is another area. Now, obviously, this may not be applicable straight away, depending on your contract. But if you were to go out and get a contract for a brand new phone, instead of doing that, you may go, actually, I have a phone. It works. Yes, it's 2 years old on my contract, or 3 years old, and my contract has just come to an end. Rather than buying a new contract for 38, 45 or £50, what might be actually better is if I just buy a SIM-only contract. Now, SIM-only contracts are fantastic. You can get a SIM that gives you unlimited calls, unlimited text, and a good chunk of data, So what you could do is go, right, okay, I'm going to do that. And I pay, for me personally, I'm with Smarty, and I pay £6.99 a month for my SIM only. I get 5 gig of data, unlimited calls and text. So I'm just by just amending um, three particular areas, which was reducing the food a little bit, taking off Netflix, getting rid of Disney, um, changing my mobile phone from a brand new contract to just keeping my phone and changing the SIM. We have now brought down the budget to a point where we're actually saving £12 and 1p a month. Now, admittedly, that might not be a lot, but it is a saving. You are no longer in arrears every month. And it is hard. It's, you will have to cut out on luxuries. You won't get Netflix, you won't get Disney Plus. You might not be able to go to cinema. It's not easy. I've been there. I had to really clamp down on my spending. So no fancy food. The most basic of mobile phones with the most basic of contract. I didn't drive at the time, which was good, so that helped. But I wasn't on a lot of money. So these are just some things you can do towards trying to save money. Now, again, the actual monthly income, everyone's monthly income is completely different. The total outgoings, again, everyone's total outgoings are completely different. Some of you may have a car, some of you may not have a car. And again, that might not even be applicable to you. But if you wanted to, you could take that total of £203 as a car. That might be your Visa card that you're having to pay back every money, or another loan you're having to pay back every month. So you could accommodate a loan of £280 as well as an additional Visa card, say, of £203. And you won't be in arrears because you've got rid of the expensive mobile. You got rid of Disney Plus. You got rid of Netflix. I would suggest, if you had the choice of the three, Netflix, TV license, or Disney Plus, I would recommend getting rid of Netflix and Disney, because the TV license gives you a much wider range of content for the price. However, if you absolutely loathe the TV in every single way, you can legally not pay your TV license. And this is important. If you choose to not pay your TV license, you must inform TV licensing that you no longer watch TV. And they will make a note of that on their system so they don't bug you with any any harassing letters. You need to let them know, and they will make a note of it for 2 years on the system, and for 2 years they won't chase you. After 2 years, get back in touch and say, hi, just to let you know, I'm still not watching TV. I only stream. I'm not using any live content at all. And they'll just remark you down for another 2 years. If you don't advise TV licensing that you no longer need a TV license because you're not watching live content, they will pursue you with a letter. So that is the one thing you must do. But if you had to choose between all three, then you may say, well, actually, for £13 a month, it's the same price as TV licensing, but I prefer the content on Netflix. So you could do that. And don't forget, there's YouTube. You don't have to pay for YouTube at all. You can get a lot of, I'll be honest, 80%, between 80 and 90% of all content that I consume is YouTube. Maybe not surprising, but 80 to 90% of all the content I consume is on YouTube. Obviously, I hate the ads, but that's where I get all my entertainment from. So if I wanted to, I could actually not have Netflix, not have Disney Plus, and just have YouTube. I could quite happily live with that. Like I said, there's nothing you can do in regards to having the pet. I would advise against cancelling your pet insurance if you have it in place. A lot of people don't bother with pet insurance, but I can assure you it is a valuable thing to have. It may not be a lot of money every month, but when things go wrong, they are exceptionally expensive. And to have the insurance there to cover those costs is an asset that is overlooked and underrated by so many people. One of my next door neighbours didn't have insurance for their pet. never got it, and then but never had a problem with their pet until it was very old. It had an accident, and it cost them £10,000, and they had to find £10,000 of their own money to pay for their pet. So, which they did. They were about to buy a house. That's gone into the wind, and they've not got close to buying the house again. And that was 5 years ago. So it has a big impact. So if you still have pet insurance, I would keep it. But you can do things when it comes to things like your pet insurance, like shopping. Not just the insurance, but you know, maybe shop around, see if there's anyone cheaper. When it comes to things like your pet having it being trimmed, this is more for dog owners. Shop around, see if there's someone that can do it cheaper. Always better to have a look around, see if it can be done cheaper. Again, when it comes to things like your where is it? Your household insurance here, £30. Shop around, go online. Every time your insurance comes up, go online and shop around. Yes, it may be a pain to put the information in over and over again, but you need to do that every single year, and maybe every 6 months. If you have if there's a section of your insurance that allows you to change midway, have a look. If your situation has changed, phone up, advise them. It may be a case that your monthly payments will come down. So household insurance is always an important one to do. Car insurance, just the same. Always shop around. Every year you accrue another no claims bonus, hopefully. And it may be a case that other insurers will give you a much better deal. If you also have another family member that drives, see if adding them to your car insurance will help reduce the overall premium, because it can do. Literally, Friday last week, I was talking to a barmaid at my local pub, and she's literally just passed her test. She passed it 2 weeks ago, so she's got a full driving license and she owns her own car. Her insurance, because she's 19, is £5,000. She added her dad to her insurance policy, and the premium dropped from £5,000 to £3,000. £2,000 came off her insurance by adding her dad onto it. You can also look at the voluntary premium. If you're willing to have a higher voluntary premium, you can possibly reduce your monthly premiums as well. The point of a voluntary premium when it comes to insurance is if you have a higher voluntary premium, what you're saying to the insurance company is, hi, I want to be covered for my car, or I want to be covered for my house. I'm so confident nothing's going to go wrong. I'm actually willing to bet by putting a higher premium on my insurance. The insurance will go, right, okay, well, if you're that confident, we'll give you a better premium, because if something does happen, you're going to have to pay more for the claim. But just bear in mind, if you were to make a claim, you would have to pay the agreed voluntary premium along with any standard excess. That's very important to keep in mind. So again, there's not many other things you can do on there. Again, it depends on your income to what's going out, what bills you have. But if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. I will do my very best to answer them. This is not legal advice. This is not legal financial advice. This is advice from one person who was in a huge amount of debt at 18, nearly became homeless at 18 because of the amount of debt, and had to learn and find out what to do to fix their life going forward. And it was hard. It was a good 2 to 3 years where I had to scrimp and save, but I came out of it. I got rid of all the debt. I got rid of everything that I owed because I just put everything I could into paying it off as fast as I can. Remember, the faster you can pay off a loan, a Visa card, the less you're going to pay on the overall sum, because you'll have so much of an APR or percentage added to whatever you borrowed. So if you borrow £1,000, it may be typically a 24% APR. So if you borrow that £1,000 for 1 year, you'll actually pay about £1,240. If you pay it back sooner, you'll be paying less interest on that. So it is always in your benefit to try and pay back any loans or Visa cards as soon as you possibly can. I do hope this has helped. Again, if you have any questions or if there's any situations that you find yourself in, even if it's a situation where you don't want it to be online, you know, feel free to email me, bensaberstv@gmail.com. Again, that's bensaberstv, all one word, at gmail.com. Feel free to email me, and I'll be more than happy to try and give you any advice or guidance that I can if you don't feel comfortable putting it down below in the comments. But again, thank you all so much for coming to the channel and checking it out. I hope this has helped. If it has and you found it useful and there's other things you want me to cover, please feel free to put it in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to look into that at a later date. But for now, thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.